Hey everybody, Dan Davis here with Davis Relacing. I'm going to take you through how I clean up a glove. Got this Rawlings Pro Preferred here. You can see it's very dry. Got some obvious heavy use on it. Labels are very dirty. Palm, it's got that typical palm adhesive mark. It's actually got some worn areas that we need dye touch up. Heavy areas of sweat damage, things like that. What I'll be using today is the Ballplayersbalm Calming Cleanser. This is a soap type product. I'll be using a few different things and I'll walk you through how I do it so you can have confidence to use the Ballplayersbalm products as well. And then when I'm finished with that, in a follow-up video, I'll show you how to use their professional conditioner. This is a paste type product. And then I'll also go over how, where, and when to use the Game Ready conditioner, which adds a little bit of tack to your glove. So let's get started. I've got a small can here of the Calming Cleanser. Of course, I've got the glove. I've already shown you that. I'm going to start out with a fresh terry cloth towel, just kind of as a work area. And I've got one that's got a little bit of use, and this will be the towel that I use to wipe the glove down. I've got two bowls, green for clean water, red for dirty water. I'll be using those. Some warm water. I usually fill these small bowls about halfway up. I'll change this as needed, so I've got a little bit extra here. The brush I like to use is this shoe brush. It's several different reasons why. One, the size. This is about 2 square inches. It's got a pretty big, nice handle. So you can really knock these gloves out quickly. On the back, it's got a stiffer nylon scrubber area. So like in those palm stain areas, this really attacks. This brush is the perfect fit for this can here, so you can really get all the product that you need. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Plunk my brush in there. I usually start on the the pinky finger, work my way around the fingers, do the palm, do the inside of the thumb, move around to the binding, the palm liner. Then I'll work my way around on the outside of the shell, finish up with the thumb here. So let's get started. I'm gonna grab a sip of Joe. All right, so when you open up the can of conditioner, or cleaner, excuse me, it's got a white appearance. The cans come filled to the top, so you really get your money's worth. This stuff lasts a long time. I'll clean a lot of gloves with this one can. So my brush has got a little bit of water on it. I don't need it to stay super wet. Let me show you how when I just put that right in here. So you might be able to see it's got some product on there. Get a little bit more, but as soon as we start cleaning, you can really see the amount of dirt that this lifts off and then is left right here. So you're gonna wanna wipe this frequently. That's our dirty water, clean rinse water. I keep the little towel handy here. Let's get this really clean here. All right, so that's one small area. Go ahead and take my wipe towel, wipe that down. You can see just from that one little bit on the pinky, we get all that dirt off. So one thing using this soap type cleaner that you may notice is that you can see the holes fill up with the suds or the soap. Just a real quick blow and it's gone. So nice and simple. I'm just going to repeat this process. Get my clean brush, take my See how it fits right inside there. So as you're working, you'll actually start to see the cleaner suds up. So I know I've got a good amount of product on here. And with this brush, you don't really have to scrub too hard. You know, the way the bristles are designed really lifts the dirt right off. So you can see the amount of dirt it lifts just almost instantly, the amount of suds you get from the Ballplayer's Balm Cleaner. Really just helps lift that dirt right off the top. All right, so at this point I'm going to wipe. It's amazing. So one thing you'll notice is that as you go, the leather does get wet, obviously, but as it dries and you use the conditioning products, the natural moisture and stuff is restored back to leather. You might also notice sometimes that the suds will go right through the fingers. You just take care of wipe that off. Some areas to make sure that you clean thoroughly are going to be between the fingers here and the fingertips as well. I actually usually come back and clean those separately, but a lot of times grime will get caked in right here between the fingers as they rub together. So that's an area that you want to pay close attention to. Continue right around the glove. Doesn't really matter which way you start. I just like to do it in this fashion, you know, just because when I'm working this way and then I move over to the back, I'll be cleaning up these areas and not moving kind of like dirty product back. So the palm stain on this glove doesn't look too bad, really. Looks more just like wear. I'm still gonna hit that little Pro Preferred logo, see if we can draw out a little more dirt. So, still sudsing up. This is our dirt so far removed with the Ballplayer's Balm, just from a few fingers. You definitely want to wipe this, the soil and the Ballplayer's Balm. Wipe it off before you let it dry. So down here on the heel, there's some discoloring. I'm gonna go ahead and try to gently bring that back up, back to life. This line of Bruciato gloves from Rawlings was very, very popular. Made a lot of different models in this colorway. More often than not, they come to me in this kind of condition here because a lot of people use them as gamers. All right, so right now I've got the entire palm area cleaned off. You can see I've still got a little bit of that residue in the holes here. I'm just going to blow that out. Okay, there we go. All clean. You want this to be an even kind of coloring. If you missed any areas, they might show up a little bit lighter. Let's move on to the palm liner. This one's got a lot of cracking, but not as much as normally. Normally this Petard sheepskin liner will be completely delaminated with holes in it. So you gotta clean this very, very carefully. I'm gonna use the same product, just make sure my brush is clean. But I'm gonna be very, very gentle on this. Very, very little pressure. Just want to remove the sweats and the salts and stuff from this leather. So right now I'm cleaning the inner liner on the wrist flap. Make sure to get this binding really well. You can see that right there. Just wipe that off very, very gently. These are some of the more fragile areas of the glove. Unfortunately, they rub on your hand the most also. So you can see some of the cracking in there. Let's bring this back up. Go. So using a product like the BallPlayer's Balm Conditioner before you use your new glove on this entire binding area, the inside of the wrist here, the palm liner, the thumb and pinky loops, using that can help seal the sweats and salts and stuff from the leather and actually preserve the interior liner of the glove for a longer period. So I'm going to take that little bit of soap, work on this side now. Make sure you get all that sweat and that dirt. Now for the wrist fur, I go ahead and do this. This is actually a multi-step process to restore this. I like to go ahead and give it the once over to get it cleaned up. Some people use wool light for this. Really with this fur, you just want to kind of be gentle. You can get worn out. Sometimes get worn through. So the first step I use to restore this is just to clean it. And with the soap-based kind of formula, the natural soaps that BallPlayer's Balm use, you can use this on the fabric or the fur or whatever, just like you would on the leather. That's one of the advantages of that. Let's give this a little wipe down in here. All right, so there we go. Let's move on to the outer shell. Now my rinse water is pretty dirty. I'm gonna toss that out and get a refill. Clean water. Now my rinse water from earlier becomes dirty water. All right, so we're gonna take care of these labels. The dingy Rawlings labels look to be in good shape, just very, very dirty. The rest of the outer shell is in pretty good shape, except for the index finger pad right there. I'll go ahead and glue that back down. All right, so let's get started on this. Same process, make sure your brush is clean. Go ahead and get some conditioner lathered up. I usually start on the index finger right here, work my way around. So I'm gonna pay close attention, like I mentioned earlier, to the fingertip right here. Dirty and dry, both conditions can be taken care of in this process. All right, so I was cleaning the palm. I showed you that some of the cleaner will come through here. Since it comes through here and it's already wet, I've already cleaned that area. It's not going to leave any marks. That's why I prefer to do it this way. So you can see that's cleaned. This is still dry and dirty. Make sure you get the binding. Get the fingertips. And just move right along. These are a little bit easier to work with. Right here. Okay, working our way right around. Now the Ballplayer's Balm you can use safely on any color glove, no matter if it's blonde, white, dark, brown, tan, any color really. Once the cleaner dries, doesn't leave any residue. Like I said, your glove will be wet using this cleaner just because it's a soap. You can see some of the dirt that's coming off. Here we've got our first little bit of embroidery, the gold glove co. Let's go ahead and see how this takes care of that. All right. So as I'm cleaning the embroidery, I want to make sure that my brush is rinsed frequently. That way there's no real dirty water that sits on it. As if the water dries in the embroidery, it's going to be dirty again. It's kind of defeat our purpose. Right, we're working on that, getting that cleaned up. We'll do right now just a kind of fresh water rinse. Followed up by a little bit more of the cleaner. Okay, so there's our embroidery cleaned up. Let's move over to the wrist label. This is going to be one of the most noticeable and visible changes because a lot of guys show the wrist label cleaned up. What you might not see though is some of the dirt and sweat stains from underneath here. That's just part of using the ball glove. So let's get this started. Usually just do a light surface kind of clean. Get a little bit of rinse. Add some more product. This is where that little stiff brush comes in handy. Really get around these edges. Do a little rinse. Now you want to be careful on these Rawlings logos sometimes. Sometimes if it's an older logo, you know, from the first run of Pro Preferreds, they'll really just kind of lose their luster. You see this one clean right up, got that rich scarlet and then the white again. All right, so you expect to see this thumb logo, do the same. Plenty of lather. Move right on to the thumb. You kind of see it's still got a little bit of dingy to it. We're going to come back with a clean rinse. There we go. Nice and clean. Last little bit, really quickly finish up the web. See, it's got the same dingy logo. I'm just going to continue the process. So one area you want to pay close attention to is underneath the eye web part. All the dirt gets caked in there. Pretty nasty. All right, there's the eye web all cleaned up. Here's some of the dirt we're left with. So, when you're finished using the product, I'll wipe the can off. You want to let that dry. I'll just use my rinse towel. We can go ahead and take a look at that. So this is from that one Rawlings Pro Preferred. Let's go ahead and take that and just dry this out. There we go. Just let that dry. There's our rinse water. So that's how I use Ballplayerbalm's Calming Cleanser to clean up baseball gloves. It's great for the leather. It's great for the patches, the embroidery, the stitching and everything. The Ballplayer's Balm, of course, once this glove dries, I'll go back to the conditioner and condition that after the touch-ups, and then I'll give it a good relace and finish it up. So thanks a lot for watching. Go to ballplayersbalm.com, order your set today. Thanks a lot.